So we are going to be discussing two different breakout strategies for day traders. Now the very first breakout strategy is just going to be a very basic breakout above pre-market highs or break down below pre-market lows. So for example, today I told everybody in the Discord server to watch DWAC for a break above 88.6, which was the pre-market high. If DWAC broke above this level, we were going to be looking for calls, and that's exactly what happened today. As DWAC broke above 88.6 in the server, we ended up buying calls. We bought the $90 calls, and as you can see, DWAC climbed to a high of 96.55 today. Now, how did I know to look for calls to begin with? I'm basically going to run down my strategy real quick so you guys know, but I do have in-depth videos discussing my overall day trading strategy. Again, I'm just going to give you a quick little rundown. So what I do is I set up this flexible grid right here, 1 hour, 4 hour daily, and on these time frames what I have is the 5, 8, 21, 34, 55, and 89 EMA with my TTM Squeeze Pro. If the 5 EMA is on top of the 8, 8 on top of the 21, 21 on top of the 34, 34 on top of the 55, and 55 on top of the 89, if we see that same exact sequence on the 1 hour, 4 hour, and daily, I am only interested in calls. However, if we go on over to an example like BABA, when all of the EMAs are stacked down, 1 hour, 4 hour, daily, I only care about puts. So once you use this strategy to understand which way of the market you're going to be watching, the rest is fairly simple. So if we go back to DWAC, everything is stacked to the upside, therefore I only care about calls. So now the first breakout strategy, like I said, is going to be a very basic break above pre-market high. So if we're looking at DWAC, 88.6 is the pre-market high, therefore a lot of traders are using that as an entry point to go long. If we break it down to a 1 minute time frame, what happened as soon as DWAC broke above that level? 88.6 all the way to a high of 90.49. So it gave a $2 move in 1 minute, and the contracts moved over $100 within that 1 minute. We can even go on over to BABA. So if we go to BABA on the 5 minute time frame, where's the pre-market low? The pre-market low is right here. What ended up happening as soon as BABA broke below the pre-market low? It dropped from 116.11 all the way down to 114.19 within the first minute. If we go on over to AMD, again, this was something I said to watch to the upside today in the Discord server. Where was the pre-market high? Right here at 125. What happened once AMD broke above 125? This thing climbed to a high of 127.62 before finally falling down. So again, if you break it down to a 1 minute time frame, where was the breakout? Right here. And when it does come to these breakout levels, again, above pre-market highs or below pre-market lows, you want to make sure to use your level 2. If you guys don't know how to use level 2, I will be leaving a link down in the description. Make sure you guys do watch that video because the level 2 is very, very important for all day traders. So again, just a very basic breakout above pre-market highs or a breakdown below pre-market lows is essentially what I am looking for in a trade. So over here, for example, AMD, you would have wanted to watch it to the upside. However, what did not happen with AMD? It never broke above pre-market highs, therefore, I do not care about calls. So overall, I'm just going to ignore the trade for the day. But if we go on over to something like Facebook, okay, so if we're looking at Facebook, I guarantee you all the EMAs are stacked down on the 1 hour, 4 hour daily. Therefore, I'm only interested in puts. And if Facebook breaks below the pre-market low, which was at 236.01, I am interested in puts. What happened once Facebook broke below the pre-market low at 236.01? It is now all the way down here at 226.3, which is a $10 drop to the downside. So I'm sure you guys now see how important these pre-market highs and pre-market lows are. But again, it's a very basic breakout strategy that day traders like to use. So if you break it down to trading psychology, if a lot of traders are basing entries at the pre-market highs or at the pre-market lows, or a break of the pre-market highs and a break of the pre-market lows, what do you think is more than likely going to happen once that level actually breaks? Everybody is going to hop in at the same time, and they're either going to drive the price up or they're going to drive the price down. And that's why knowing these levels are super, super important. So that is breakout strategy number 1. Now, breakout strategy number 2 is going to be the ORB strategy, which is going to be known as the opening range breakout. Now, there's a couple of time frames that you can do this on. However, I only like to pay attention to it on the 5-minute time frame. So if we're looking at AMD right here on the 5-minute time frame, we can see that the high of the first 5-minute opening candle was at 108.83, and the low of the first 5-minute candle was at 106.9. So as we can see with AMD, what did it end up doing? For the next 20 minutes, it kind of just sat in this range. This is going to be known as the range part of the opening range breakout. So when it actually broke out, this is going to be your breakout. So now you have the entire orb strategy. This is the opening, this is the range, this is the breakout orb. So once it broke out, that was your entry to go long on AMD. And what do we notice on AMD? It ended up coming back, testing this level for the people that did not get filled at the initial breakout, and then it ended up climbing all the way to a high of 114.29 much later in the day. But again, if you're a day trader or a scalper, you could have been in right here and out by right here. So this is a beautiful example of the orb strategy, plus it was squeezing at the same time above the moving averages. So if you guys don't know how to use the DTM squeeze, link will be down in the description for that video, so make sure to watch that as well. But this is one example of how to use the orb strategy. Another example can be found over here on Facebook. So if we're looking at Facebook, here is the high of the first 5-minute, here's the low of the first 5-minute candle. So here's the opening, here's the range. As you can see, it never broke above this level, therefore there was no entry on Facebook yet. Once it broke above it right here and gave the breakout, again using your level 2, the light blue on the squeeze with the red dots, it broke above the moving averages. This is where you're going to be looking to enter your trade. And as we can see, Facebook broke out and actually held, we would say, if we waited till the end of the first 5-minute candle at 303.62, this thing climbed all the way to 313.79 by the end of the day. However, again, basically if you're a momentum trader, once it broke above this level, I mean, really you could have been out here at 305.72. So again, basically a $3 move to the upside, which isn't terrible for day trades. Here's an example to the downside on SQs. So as we can see on SQ, here's the high of the 5-minute time frame, the opening, and here's the low. What do we see happen on SQ? It kind of sat in this range, and it ended up breaking below right here at 116.7, dropping all the way down to 115.58, which could have been a nice scalp. Now this isn't, a picture perfect example, but I want you guys to basically know what the setup is going to look like. So now, as we can see, did it pull back up? Yes, but it probably pulled back to like an 8 EMA or a 5 EMA, and then as we can see, SQ continued to drop to the downside. And then here's an example, a final example of an opening range breakout that I took on Friday on Apple. So again, here's the high of the first 5-minute candle, here's the low of the first 5-minute candle. As we can see, it sat in this range for the next 5, 10, 15, 20 minutes. Here was the breakout candle. We entered as soon as it broke out because I saw the level 2 picking up. And as we can see, Apple climbed from 171.94 to 172.66 before pulling back, testing this level again, and then going back up and going to 172.91. But that's going to wrap up 2 of the best breakout patterns that every day trader should know. So if you guys did enjoy the video and you guys would like to know more of these day trading breakout patterns, make sure to like the video, make sure to comment down below and let me know, as well as clicking that subscribe and that bell icon. It would mean the absolute world to me. As always, I hope everybody has an amazing rest of your day, and I'll see you guys in the next video.